Welcome to Ivy League Murders. On this podcast, we focus on cases affiliated with the Ivy League, exploring the darker side of higher education. What happens when genius becomes evil? My name is Sarah Alcorn. I'm a Harvard graduate, and I've been a private investigator since 1999. Join me and longtime crime diva Laura McDonald for Ivy League Murders.
Looking for a casual baseball podcast to listen to? Well, Baseball with the Bard, presented by Clovercrest Media, has just what you're looking for. Tyler Bard and Noah Cross cover a wide range of happenings in the MLB, and then dive into a deep focus on the Red Sox and Yankees. Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for your weekly dose of Baseball with the Bard.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drawing About the G-Men, the Giants football podcast. I'm Big Jace, joined as always by my man Joe Aguirre, Sean Scanlon, and Ovi Muniz. And let's just dive right into it. Giants looked despicable this week in a 9-36 loss to the 49ers. Sean, what are your thoughts on that game?
Easily one of the most embarrassing games I've watched in my lifetime, not even just over the past couple of years. It was just a terrible showing. The offense looked terrible. Not a single touchdown, 3 bad turnovers, and they just got torn up in the time of possession. They only had the ball for 20 minutes, 16 seconds. So for about only a third of the game, they were out there, just making it bad and tough on the defense. So that was terrible to watch. I feel bad for the Giants defense that they had to be out there for 2/3 of the game, but they do have to be much better on third down, though. Just this season, their opponents are 25 of 43 on third down conversions, which is 58%, and that's just an absurdly high number. Yeah. On third downs, you want to be somewhere around 30%, maybe high 20s. So that's just unacceptable. The offense can't stay on the field. The defense can't get off the field. And that's pretty much just where the Giants are at right now in this disastrous 2020 season. And then also with Daniel Jones, look, I love him, and I think that he's going to be the franchise QB moving forward. But at some point, he's going to have to cut down the turnovers. He's had multiple turnovers in 12 of his 15 starts, so that just can't happen anymore. He's got to be better, and the team as a whole has to be better. It's tough to watch, honestly, and hopefully, we can see some improvements during the season, but right now it's not looking great.
Well, I have to say, I watched that game, and unlike all of you, well, not Ovi. Ovi's a realist. I watched that game and saw exactly what I expected to happen was going to happen, and Sean made a million good points, but I'll take it a step further. This team, again, you look around at the roster, there's so many good, solid, talented players. But what did I say going into this game? If the offense can't sustain drives, and they were god-awful in this game, that you're asking this defense that's young and vulnerable to get lit up. And that even somebody like Mullins is going to light you up if you don't get to the quarterback. If you're on the field the entire time, the third downs are. Don't you want to just take your remote and throw it at your TV every time they give up a third down conversion? It's stunning. But again, I think that's you run into this situation where you're on the field constantly and you're constantly in third down. What are you going to do? What are you going to do but sit back and try to knock a lot of those down, and they end up being first downs? But Daniel Jones has got to get his act together. Obviously the cries for, Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields are growing louder with every turnover. It's also shocking that he's leading the Giants in rushing. What is even going on with this team? It's pathetic to watch. There's been, to me, nothing but steps back since opening day. I thought they looked good in their first game. I thought it's been 2 giant steps backward, and it makes me wonder what the rest of the season is going to look like. I'm not really looking forward to it.
Your thoughts, Obi?
Let's put it this way, man. We got a brand new head coach, first year. We could go back to 1983 when Bill Parcells took over as the Giants. He started with a record 3-12. Okay, and then the following year they jumped up to be playoff contenders. Maybe that's what's going on with the New York Giants. Maybe we had so much high expectation this year, but I guess the formula, whatever Judge is doing, it's gonna take some time. You know, we want to win now. I understand. I want to win now. I'm depressed since after we last won the Super Bowl. You know, I want my Giants to be contenders every single year. You know what I mean? And I know it is not the case. And I pretty much the Giants suck. You know, no matter how many words y'all going to use, the Giants suck pretty much. And we're going to have to suck it all the way through the end of the season. And hopefully next year, you know, because sadly to say we have to say it, hopefully next year we may see that improvement.
Ovi, I have to ask you a question, though. Is Lawrence Taylor available in the next draft? Because that was the miracle it took to get 3-12 to playoff contender. And don't forget that. I mean, that guy single-handedly turned that team around.
Not in the next draft. This next draft is going to be stacked with offensive players. You know, a lot of quarterbacks are coming out the next draft. Still, they continue with the wide receivers. We may get some good offensive linemen. But as far as defense, I think the Giants missed their chance. I was wanting that defensive end. I wanted, if I'm not mistaken, was Isaiah, right? I wanted him.
Simmons.
Right, I wanted him to be chosen because there were plenty of offensive linemen in that roster. We did not have to get one right away. You know, and I'm not a firm believer that an offensive tackle should be a number 1 pick. There were plenty more talented players out there, especially in the defense. We lack in every single position, all right? So why not start? Defense wins championships, so why not build on that defense, right? And then, again, stack them. Now, okay, so we got injuries. But you know what? When all the Giants players were all healthy, we were still doing the same crap like we did every single year, you know? But I think we missed an opportunity for the draft. Like everyone's saying, it takes time, maybe a couple of years, but we'll see, man. We'll see. But right now, we stink.
Well, first off, I want to go at you a little bit, Ovi. You said when everyone was healthy, they were healthy for like 2 total drives offensively before they would not last week, the week before. That was the first time Daniel Jones has had his full starting offense since he's been a starter. And then on the second, third drive of the game, Saquon Barkley goes out. And then Sterling Shepard goes out. So while everything looks bad, these injuries keep piling up. And I still am going to be that guy that says there is still potential. And Ovi, you brought up a good point. This is Joe Judge's first year. He's got to start getting his system underway. And this is the COVID season, so it has expedited the whole process. So now everything looks a lot worse than it actually is, in my opinion. And no one mentioned it, but we also lost Jabril Peppers last week, which is another rough loss, really the only playmaker in that defense. But I don't like the talks. I don't like what you're saying, Joe, about Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. That's just not going to happen. We have our guy, Danny Dimes. He is our guy. Nothing's going to stop that. And as far as it,
well, something might, Jace.
Well, hold on for a second.
What? Let's just say that you're wrong, and based on your picks, that's a pretty good assumption. So let's say that you're wrong here. And let's say that the Giants go 2-14. I think that's reasonable. I don't see anybody. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
And
our
Dave
sister.
Gettleman is terminated at the end of this season. Are you telling me that the next general manager wouldn't want to go and get himself a new quarterback? A 6'6" stud coming out of Clemson University? I think that'd be hard to turn down.
And hold on. And look at Tannehill. What team did he start with and which team he's in right now? You know, Judge didn't pick his quarterback. He didn't pick his roster until this draft, okay? So was not to say, hey, he is not the man for my system. I got to get somebody else. He is talented. Don't get me wrong. Jones is talented, but he may not be that perfect guy for what Judge wants for his team.
Listen to me. Steve Risser said it. If they're number one, they're taking Trevor Lawrence. That's just not true. That's just not true. The number one overall pick, while everyone's saying Trevor Lawrence, it's Penei Sewell. He is the biggest. You can find my article at clovercrestmedia.com where I rank the top 7 NFL top 7 prospects in the NFL 2021 draft. And while like you have to put at least some effort in this guy. 2 seasons, not even 2 full seasons is going to make – I don't care if it's Trevor Lawrence. I don't care if it's the second coming of Joe Montana or Tom Brady in that draft. You have to commit to this guy. I don't care if Gettleman's gone or not. Just changing, bringing a whole new quarterback, trying to learn the offense. You don't need to rebuild again. You need to continue building on what you have.
Does Daniel Jones really understand this offense? Does he have a good read on defenses? I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think Sean's with me and say he does not.
Well, he does a lot better against man coverage than he does in zone coverage. That's where he really struggles. The majority of his interceptions, not just this season, but last season as well, have come against zone coverage. So he's definitely got to get better at deciphering that. But I do agree with Jace, though. If you count up his total starts right now, he's still not at a full season. He's at 15 games right now. He still hasn't played a full season. So I do agree with Jace. You got to give him more time than this. Like Jace also said, he hasn't had his, full cast of weapons for a full game yet in his career. So I do see your argument, Joe, with if Gettleman's gone, that, obviously it's a new system. They have the choice to pick whoever they want at QB. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gettleman is fired. But I do agree that, I think Jace made a good point that Daniel Jones, we need some patience with him. Obviously, if you look at Eli Manning, I'm not trying to, compare them that and say that he's going to have the same exact career, but Eli Manning started off very, very slow in his first couple of years, turned the ball over a whole hell of a lot. So I think that we got to give Daniel Jones some time. If he keeps turning the ball over at this rate up until, week 17 of this season, we might have to look at it. But right now, I think we got to give him some time and be patient with him.
Well, you should have heard me in 2005.
Yeah,
I was all over that guy.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of other people were too. So I just think that Daniel Jones, he has the tools. He's got good ball placement. He's got a good deep ball. He can he's mobile when the pocket breaks down. So he's got a bunch of good tools to work with and mold into a good quarterback. But obviously, turnovers have to stop.
Look, Daniel Jones has a QBR of 50. So something's got to give. He's already thrown 4 interceptions, right? And what week are we in right now? We're in week 4?
Going into week 4.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's a lot. And there's quarterbacks in the NFL league that don't have to depend on star wide receiver that could distribute the ball equally. You have wide receivers, you have tight ends. You got to use what you got in front of you, right? And it's not happening. And I don't care what excuses you're saying right now. It is not clicking whatsoever. And if Eli was there, we would have seen the same type of football.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not on Daniel Jones. Eli's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
It is not Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was put in because why? Because he was better. He's supposed to be better.
Yeah,
He's supposed to make things happen. I don't care what coach you bring in or whatever it is, whatever system is, he's still the quarterback of the New York Giants. He's still got to make those plays. He's still got to pass the ball.
And he does have to start making stuff happen.
And the receivers need to start catching. I mean, look at Ingram, tight end, who's supposed to be the big star, right? Like Shockey or something like that. And yet, what has he done so far in these games? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, Jones' weapons haven't helped him out. Slayton, after the monster game week 1, he had 6 catches in week 1. He's only had 6 catches since then for no scores when he had 2 scores the first week. And Ovi mentioned it. Evan Ingram has been an absolute no-show. He had a decent second half against the Bears last week, but their receivers need to get more separation. It's kind of tough when your receivers aren't getting open, and your O-line is not protecting, and the pass rush is getting there in 2 seconds. It's a tough spot for him, and I think that they just need a little more patience with him. Obviously, if he keeps turning the ball over this rate, though, we got to start asking some questions.
I don't think any of the blame has to go on any of the receivers or Daniel Jones right now. Daniel Jones, he's in a tough spot. Like Sean just said, like Sean mentioned, he has started less than a complete total season with two different schemes.
Well, who's at fault then? Whose fault is this?
It's the offensive line. They can't get the separation because he doesn't have enough time and he's got to worry. And he can't make his reads. It's the offensive line's fault. They're playing abysmally. They made a torn up Niners defense, which I still think the Niners are really good, but he made them look like the Ravens back in the day, like the early 2000s Ravens. Like, this is not like the O-line is trash. They got demolished by the rookie Javon Kinlaw. Like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. They need to shore up this O-line. And yes, defensively, that's a whole nother story. But you cannot put all the blame on Daniel Jones. And he has not started a full season. And you're already going, let's get a new quarterback.
Yeah, but listen, here's the problem. You saw what Justin Herbert did a couple weeks ago. And you see other rookies. Look at Kyler Murray. I mean, if the right guy gets into the right system and it clicks, it clicks. And we saw Daniel Jones have some good games middle of last season. And then he finished like garbage. And now he started like garbage. And that's my concern. Like Ovi said, I mean, I understand he's under fire. I understand that these guys aren't blocking for anything, but on the rare occasion they do, make something happen.
Absolutely. And look at Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals already throwing 821 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's a rookie. And yes, he doesn't play defense and stuff like that. That's why the Bengals are where they are right now. But he's a rookie. And I'm already sick and tired of making excuses about, well, we don't have an offensive line. We've been saying that for the last 4 seasons. We don't have an offensive line. They have an offensive line. Something's got to give. All right? We got to put boots.
These guys got to start playing better.
Exactly. When are we going to hold everyone accountable?
What is the problem with the coaching that these guys aren't doing better?
I think they just don't have the talent.
It's not the coaching.
Andrew Thomas, Will Hernandez. I mean, they got some.
Will Hernandez, he had a bad second year after a good rookie year, and he's struggled so far this year. I've never been huge on Will Hernandez. And Andrew Thomas, he's looked good at times, but he's going to struggle being a left tackle, being thrown right into the mix as a rookie. So I believe in Andrew Thomas going forward, but right now it's obviously looking rough. Cam Fleming has been terrible at right tackle, and then Cam
Fleming should never start an NFL game. I mean, he's not a professional football player. He should be in the Arena Football League or something.
Yeah, he's a journeyman swing tackle, and the Giants are throwing him out to start a right tackle. Their starting center never played a snap at center in his entire life before this season. So that kind of tells you where the Giants' offensive line is at. Even though it's been struggling and we've wanted it to change in the past couple of years, they haven't done enough, to bring in assets to help that O-line. Obviously, it's a good start with Andrew Thomas coming in, but they're going to have to keep continuing to build that O-line until, they get it right in, run blocking and in pass protection.
This is where I will agree with you, Joe, on Gettleman, is the offensive line. It's trash. Isaiah Thomas was not, he was – I had him ranked almost second round last year in the draft. He was not the best tackle. I'm not happy with that pick. I figured I'd let it play out. That's not working. It's a mess. Will Hernandez is starting to degrade. He was the only hopeful I had going into this season. The O-line personnel is so bad. You need to even in the past, the Giants have used second-round picks on offensive linemen, and they're already gone. They already get rid of them. It doesn't make sense. The offensive, everything starts in the trenches. Every play starts at the line of scrimmage. And the Giants, they figured out how to make the defensive line of scrimmage work. Now they just got to find that playmaking piece and a couple pieces in the secondary to shore up the defense. But everything starts on the offensive line offensively. And when you can't get time for plays to develop, you can't get time for the quarterback to make the reads, it's not going to work. And that's what we're continuing to see. And this is like, I'm fed up at this point because everyone's putting the blame all around. It's on. I'll put it on Gettleman. The offensive line is trash. It's garbage. And we're running Daniel Jones's name through the mud because he's getting no help there. And I don't like it.
So let me ask you this, Jace.
Yo.
Why is it that the New England Patriots are able to perform every single year? They don't even have Tom Brady. And when they had Tom Brady, they were able to take people out, put people in. They never have the same type of roster like every 2 years or so. Okay? How come they are successful and why not the Giants?
Management and coaching. Like I said, they find the guys, they find the personnel that can fit those roles. The Giants just pick up all the scraps and throw them in as far as the offensive line goes. And then coaching, Bill Belichick is the greatest coach in any sport ever. So he's just great. He makes everything work. So
it's all about knowing your players and use them to whatever tools they have and then move on. Am I right? Joe?
Yeah, I'm 100%. 100%. And look, you're not wrong, Jason. I certainly do feel for Daniel Jones, and it's rough to like pin it all on him, but again, I need a quarterback that's going to make something happen.
All right. Let's move on. Let's preview this week's matchup. Giants go to LA to take on the Rams. Rams have looked all right to start, 2-1. Not as dominant as they were a couple seasons ago when they went to the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald's looking great. Jared Goff's looking okay. They obviously don't have Todd Gurley anymore. Sean, what do you think of this matchup?
Yeah, you said it. The Rams, they've looked good to start off the season. I thought they would be a lot worse than this at this point, but they've surprised me. Like you said, Aaron Donald's a menace. He's going to have Nick Gates and Kevin Zeitler, Will Hernandez. He's going to have them working all day long. I expect him to be in the backfield a lot. And then Jalen Ramsey, after being traded last year, he kind of struggled down the stretch with the Rams. But coming out to start the season, he's been amazing. Back to that, top 3 corner in the league. So I think that, Darius Slayton or whoever is outside, CJ Board or Damon Ratley, they're all going to have rough days. And I think this Rams offense is going to be attacking us all day. Jared Goff has looked sharp. So I think Higbee and, Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, they're all going to have huge days. So it's a bad matchup. Having to go all the way to LA too. So I don't think it'll be a pretty one for the Giants. I think the Rams are going to score a lot of points and win big in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned Todd Gurley's gone, but Henderson and Malcolm Brown have certainly got the job done. Both put up big numbers in each of the first 2 weeks. This is going to be a rough afternoon for the Giants. Obviously, Nick Gates going to get his lunch eaten all day long. Daniel Jones is going to be under fire, and I'll be interested to see if anybody on the Giants offense can make anything happen. But I suspect the Giants will find themselves in a lot of third down situations they won't be able to convert on deep. I mean, I watched Jared Goff last week. I mean, I think completed his first 14 or 15 passes to open up the game. I mean, the guy's just clicking on offense with his team right now. The defense is very talented. The Giants aren't better than the Rams in any phase or capacity in this game at all. I mean, it's stunning. The Giants are going to get annihilated this week. They'll probably lose worse than they did last week. If I had to guess, I'm going to say 41-3.
Damn. All right.
And that'll be with a couple of missed Graham Gano field goals.
I know how the Giants are gonna win. They're gonna win the coin toss. That's all they're gonna win. Because I have Malcolm Brown and Cooper Kupp on my fantasy league, and they're going to start this Sunday. And with Joe's prediction, I think I'm gonna win for the second week in a row. But we'll talk about that later.
All right. Opie's all ready to go to Hollywood with them shades on, so we'll see. I'm gonna make the pick that I always do. I'm going with the Giants. Hopefully, I can get some reverse psychology to work in my favor here, but I'm not like
wait. Hold on. If you're going to say something so unbelievably silly, explain how this scenario works. Tell me about this game that you see in your head where the Giants leave the Rams with a victory in hand. I'm just curious. What happens in this game? Does Jared Goff not make it? Is Ace Ventura 3 playing? Does he get kidnapped?
Well, Jared Goff is not an elite quarterback by any means of the word, as well as the Rams are going to be a little jet lagged coming from Buffalo. That's all I got.
Where are the Giants coming from?
They're coming from New York, but so
they're coming out of the
equally
bubble.
jet lagged and don't normally play well on the West Coast. But no, again, tell me more. Wayne Gallman runs for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns.
But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
No,
like
you can't. That's
I will.
unreasonable. What are you talking about?
I want the Giants to win. I'm gonna be sitting on my chair rooting for the Giants. I want them to win. That's why I'm picking them.
Joe, just let him pick it, Joe. It's better for our record.
Sean, this is appalling.
I don't care what you say.
Hold on. If you're going to pick the Giants, I want you to tell me how it happens.
All right.
Happens. It's a field goal duel. Take the over for how many field goals are going to be kicked, and Graham Gano is going to shine over whoever the LA Rams kicker is. That's how the Giants are going to win.
18-15?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Let's go.
I like it.
All right.
You think the Giants are going to have 6 drives where they score? Okay,
so what happened was they're going back to the old NFC championship when the Giants beat the 49ers in 5 field goals to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's not going to happen when they're scoring 4 touchdowns in the first quarter already.
All right. You know what?
Flipper Anderson's going to have 145 yards receiving this weekend.
Okay. All right. But before we move on to pick the rest of the games, we have to bring this up. The Steelers at the Titans has been postponed. It was supposed to happen this week due to multiple members of the Titans team and organization testing positive for COVID-19 after their game with the Minnesota Vikings. We still have yet to hear if anything's going to happen with the Vikings due to them traveling to Minnesota and catching the virus. So we'll have to see what comes from that. And it was really inevitable, right, guys? Like this, it was bound to happen at some point. What do you guys think of how this is playing out?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that it happens. I don't think that you can prevent that from happening. Well, everyone's taking these tests and stuff. We don't even know how accurate it is or what, but I think everyone's just having trying to be safe on this. Joe, you've been talking about this more on your other podcasts and stuff. Please enlighten us on this COVID-19.
Yeah, look, this is inevitable. I say kudos to the NFL, though, that this is the first game they've had to postpone because of it. It's one of those things where you really gotta go through all the proper protocols, and I'm glad the NFL is gonna step up enforcement. I think that's really important. If you want to play, but you got to follow the rules. And if you want to opt out, see you next year. It's as simple as that. This is a dangerous thing. It's spreading. 210,000 dead, about 1 million worldwide now. So again, the hoax is over. Let's be serious. And look, all across the country, you still have places where they're not playing, whether it be in high school or Pee Wee League, some colleges. Obviously, UConn still isn't playing. So, got to take this stuff seriously, and apparently that's what this is. If I'm hearing the story right, was some players not following procedure.
Yes.
I mean, it's foolish. It's foolish and it's selfish. And, look, everybody has to live through this same garbage. I'm talking about the Giants, not the pandemic, but I'll include the pandemic. We all have to live through that misery. I'm talking about the Giants again. And we're all in this together. Don't be a douche. That's it. Just follow the rules or go home.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know what? NBC really did not want to call the Giants to play that night, and they offered the Eagles and the 49ers to substitute, and they'll be playing 8 o'clock Sunday night.
Nice.
Well, you mentioned it a little bit, Joe. I do like how they noted, the NFL has noticed that certain people and certain teams aren't really following right procedure, and they stricken the disciplines. They're threatening to suspend people for games. They're threatening to take away draft picks. So, this is serious, and teams need to either get with it or get the hell out, because we want to see football played, and don't take that away from us.
You're absolutely right, man. There's just too much money being invested, and for them to be careless, it's not being responsible at all. You're absolutely right.
Yep. All right, let's get on to picks. Starting off with the game tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football. Another excellent game as the Broncos go to MetLife to take on the Jets. Sean, what do you think of this game?
I think that this game,
powerhouses.
Yeah, I don't know why this game is being televised, but that's Thursday Night Football for you. I'm gonna go with the Broncos in this one. I don't really have any explanation. The Jets are terrible. Maybe Brett Rippon could get his first career win. So I'm gonna go with the Broncos in a low scoring, ugly Thursday night brawl.
Well, I hate to say this, fellas. I'm going to take the Jets because I think the G-men are a little bit worse, and I think this week the Jets prove it with a 16-9 win over them Broncos.
All right, Ovi, what you got?
Oh, man, this is the hardest pick ever. And this is 3 weeks in a row that we get like an offer on both teams to be playing on Thursday night. But I'm going to go for the
trash
home team,
night in the NFL. The garbage cans from the Houston Astros needed a job, so they gave it the Thursday night schedule.
Jets. I'm going for the Jets.
Yes.
All right. Okay. This was one of those games. Before all four downs the other week, Ovi and I were talking and how my strategy for my picks is to go last and listen to what you guys say and kind of hash it out, because there were a couple close games where where you all three picked one, and I said this game's too close, so I'm going to pick the opposite. This was going to be one of those games, but I'm sticking with my guns here, going Broncos, splitting up the board. I figured everyone would pick the Broncos, just how bad the Jets are doing, but Joe and Ovi, if you guys are going to put that gamble, I'll take that. Then starting off the Sunday,
you got that. You say you take that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. The Colts go to Chicago to take on the Bears. Sean, what you thinking?
I'm gonna go with the upset on this one. I'm gonna go with the home team, the Bears. I just think that Nick Foles came in hot down the stretch, throwing 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I don't think the Bears are a 4-0 team, but somehow their schedule has allowed them to get there. And Phillip Rivers, he had a good game last week, but he was also playing against the Jets. You can't put too much weight into that one, I think. I think Jonathan Taylor will get going against the Bears defense, but I think that they're going to shut down the pass. And I'll take the Bears probably 24 to the Colts 18.
All right.
I will also be taking the Chicago Bears. This will be a low-scoring affair to the tune of 20-13.
All right. Ovi?
I'm taking the Bears, but this is not no upset, man. I know that the Colts are favorite, but you don't disrespect Nick Foles. He's a starter, and they're not taking that position away from him. He's a Super Bowl champion for a reason, and I'll be surprised. I don't think it's a low-score game, Joe, but Bears will win.
I put a lot of faith in Nick Foles when he came back from injury last year with the Jags, who were in a better state than they are this year. And then he did nothing. I understand he came in and did good last week against the Jets, but the Colts are. I had my doubts coming into the season on the Colts, but they've been very, very impressive, and I expect that O-line and Jonathan Taylor to just run it down the Bears' throats, and they get the win on the road here. Moving on, another great game as the Jaguars go to Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. What do you think of these powerhouses here, Sean?
Yeah, another great matchup, as you said. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals. This is third week in a row I picked them, so I'm just going to keep picking them until they win one for me. They should have had it last week with the tie against the Eagles, but unfortunately they ended in a tie. But I think Joe Burrow will get it going against this Jags defense. I think that he's going to have a huge game. I think Gardner Minshew will play well, also going against the Bengals secondary, but I could see a shootout in this one. I'd say the Bengals win by a score of 31-27.
I think it's definitely going to be a wild shootout, and I love the Jaguars, man. I really do. They've got such great offensive weapons. If Minshew can have a decent game, I think they can definitely win this one. It'll be a high-scoring affair to the tune of 38-35.
All right.
I picked the Bengals, and I'll keep picking them until Burrow gets his first one.
This is an easy winnable game for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Not sold on the Jags. I don't know how they don't have a big O in front of their name, but we'll see. I'm going with Joe Burrow and the Bengals to get his first win. Then the Cleveland Browns go to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. What do you got, Sean?
I think this one's going to be a pretty good game. I'm going to go with the home team and the Cowboys, though. I think Dak in the passing game will get it going. I also think Zeke's going to run for a lot. But I think the Browns will get it going on the ground too with obviously Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. But I think in the end the Cowboys will score enough points, and I think the Cowboys will get a couple stops in the fourth quarter. So I'd say Cowboys 30 to the Browns 21.
It's going to be 27-23 in this game, and it's going to be the unexpected results of 2020. The Browns will be 3-1. And the Cowboys will be 1-3.
Oh, all right.
I agree with your score, but only if I'm going to go with the spread. But I hate doing this. Ugh. I'm going for the Cowboys on this one.
Boy, oh boy, I hate doing it as well, Ovi. I got to go with the Cowboys, the Browns.
Cowboy lovers.
No. The Cowboys are good enough where they shouldn't lose to the Browns. These were the games they lost last year, so this is a hard one for me to pick. But if you're losing pretty much every game, all but one game so far, I think that curse is kind of...
It's going to happen again. They're going to get that onside kick again. You'll see.
I don't care.
This just feels like a trap game for the Cowboys. Like everyone's like, oh, they're going to win it. And they're like, no, we're not.
Yeah, you're right. But I'll be happy if the Cowboys lose, but I'm picking them to win.
You're blindly picking the Giants, and then you're like, well, I hate the Cowboys, but if I really think on it, yeah.
Yeah, my fandom overrules my brain with the Giants. Everything else, I'm analytical, and I break this down in my brain. And that's why, thank you for bringing that up, Joe. We didn't get into records, as last week was my worst week. I was 9-6-1.
Was that the breakdown you was doing?
Week 11-4-1. And then Joe and Ovi tied 10-5-1. Sean and I are tied for the season record at 31-16-1. Joe 27-20-1. And Ovi, you have 19.
Don't count me. You guys started before I did, so
well, I'll ask.
said do that in
next
percentage.
Week, I'll bring win percentages in.
Yeah,
we'll see. Now let's get on to the next game. Saints, pretty disappointing the past couple weeks. Go to Detroit, who's coming off a big win. What do you think, Sean?
The Lions got a big win against the Cardinals. I was pretty shocked that they won the game. I don't think that's going to happen again this week, though. I think Alvin Kamara is going to have a monster game against the Lions, just like he did this week against the Packers. I think he's going to do it in the receiving game and running the ball. And then I think the Saints' defense is going to come to play against the Lions. I can see Demario Davis having a big game and Cam Jordan. I think that they're going to get after Matt Stafford because the Lions like to throw the ball a lot, so I think they're going to get some pressure on them. And I think that the Saints are going to have a statement win here. And I think that they'll win 28 to the Lions, I'll say 13.
Hold on, we have breaking news. Teddy is betting Joe a sub on the Browns versus the Cowboys.
I am in.
All right.
All right. Nice. All right, Joe, what's your pick for Saints at Lions?
Okay, well, you ready for this? Man, I think the Saints are going through one of those rough patches that they go through every year. I think this is another one of those weeks where they just don't get it together. I think they're only going to score 16 points this week, which is unfortunate because the Lions are going to score 31 in the victory. Adrian Peterson, by the way, is the starting running back and will be getting the bulk of the carries going forward. So, interesting twist for fantasy as well.
Yeah, he's in my team too. Detroit wins.
Jeez.
Just for that, dude. 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. They lost to the Raiders, and then they lost to a good Packers team, and you're making them lose to the Lions?
Yeah.
What is going on? Saved by 100.
Drew Brees is actually showing his age, and the decline is happening. And
it's there.
You have to admit that.
Yeah,
because then they can actually hand the ball off to Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
and let him do work.
I think that's true as well, but Saints just have too much talent on defense and around Drew Brees. They could still get the short passing game going and quick game going with Drew Brees. He just can't really push downfield anymore.
Teddy says it best. Biden has a better chance to beat Trump than the Lions winning. All right. And then moving on. Seahawks at Dolphins. What do you think, Sean?
I think the Dolphins had a good game last week. I picked them to win against the Jaguars, but this is too tall of a task. I think the Seahawks are the best team in the NFC, the way that Russell Wilson's playing right now. And their defense has they had a kind of a rough game against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys have an explosive offense. So I think their defense will do a lot better this week. I think Seahawks will win big in this one. I'd probably say by 3+ touchdowns.
Seahawks 27-13.
I'll say Seahawks in a blowout. I won't be surprised if they shut them out.
Oh, this is the first clean sweep of the week. Seahawks by 100. Easy peasy. Now the Chargers head to Tampa to take on Tampa Bay Bucks. What do you got, Sean?
The Bucks looked really good last week too, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and the offense got it clicking. So I think the Bucks, they might have some trouble stopping Joey Bosa. I think that he's going to be in the backfield a lot. But I think that's the only problem that the Bucks are going to have in this one. I think that they're going to win by a score of 27-16.
Well, I see things going a little differently for Tom Brady and company. I believe the Chargers are going to pull off the upset 18-17.
I don't know where you guys getting your scores, but damn. I'm going to have to grab your manuals or something like that and figure out how y'all calculate. But regardless of the score, Tampa Bay is going to win this Sunday.
I'm sorry, why is that? For just because that's how it goes, or Give me a reason. Tell me what happens.
What happened?
Tell me what happens.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. What happened is Brady. He's jealous because he didn't get the performance Mahomes had on Monday night. So we're gonna get to see Brady throw 4 touchdown passes.
You know what happens when Tom Brady gets put under pressure? Plays like garbage.
Yes, sir.
He got enough.
I'll tell you right now.
He ain't gonna. It's not gonna happen.
He's 57 years old. I think he's in for one of those games, you guys, where I think he's going to get spanked around. He's going to be on the ground a lot, and he's not going to have a Tom Brady kind of game. Don't underestimate the Chargers.
I will.
I'm with Joe here.
Underestimating.
I'm with Joe here. Chargers
Come on,
field
Chargers.
in Tampa Bay.
Did I do it? Who else
It
is
will
with
be
me?
Herbert Bay.
Who's coming with me?
Oh,
On that
Who's coming with me?
Sunday night, Sunday during the day. I don't know when this game is.
1 o'clock.
It'll be
Baby.
Justin Herbert.
1 o'clock. It's gonna be a West Coast traveling all the way to the East Coast just to get that big L, and then gonna go back to San Diego crying. Get out of here.
Doesn't Justin Herbert feel like that feel-good story where, like, he wins, like, his first 6 starts or some crazy nonsense?
He can't. He lost last week.
I lost last week, but he's gonna light it up.
After that.
Yeah, good try, buddy. Good try.
No. Hold on. To be fair,
No, he looks
he
good.
wasn't technically the starting quarterback. He was only starting quarterback because of an injury.
That was the week before. He was announced the starter this week.
No. Relax that.
What?
No, but
True.
it was still
He's
injured.
now-
They're like 100%.
But he's now, like, officially the starting quarterback.
get
You
what
understand what I'm
Joe's
saying?
I get what
as of this.
you're picking up, Joe.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going with that one.
So, like, he loses his first one, Sean, and then he goes on a great winning streak of, like,
We're just
7.
waiting for the Chargers to win so he can say this is the beginning of a 6-game winning streak. He's gonna say it all the way till Thanksgiving, so don't worry.
Listen.
about it.
Yeah, you better pick the Chargers for the next 6 games. Then is what I'm hearing.
I'm going to do it. And I'll tell you right now, they can't have a 7-game winning streak if they don't win this one. So,
But you know
put it
what,
in the
though?
books.
Hold on. But I do
I'll
believe
take
you,
your
Joe.
word for it.
I do believe you that he'll have a winning streak because after this game, he plays the Saints, Jets, Dolphins, and Jaguars. So you got a chance.
Listen, this is my double down doggy darum upset pick of the week. Do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
All right. Speaking of upsets, let's see if anyone's got anything crazier than that as the Ravens go to Washington to take on the football team.
Ravens have been flat lately.
No, Lamar's going to bounce back this week, big time. I think Dwayne Haskins might actually be the worst QB in the league. He's terrible. He's worse than Daniel Jones. I'm glad that the Giants didn't pick him. Ravens are going to win big in this one in Washington.
You know what the worst part is Dwayne Haskins is the only quarterback on my keeper league.
Ooh.
I got Tom Brady. I got Tyrod Taylor. And my only other quarterback, the guy I've been kind of hoping is Dwayne Haskins. Because I believed in Dwayne Haskins. And I actually saw his overall QB rating today. It's lower than Jace's. It's not good. Yeah, I'm going to say the Ravens, I think Washington's going to be in this game surprisingly late. Not late enough to win it. It's going to end up, it's going to look closer than it's going to be. You know, it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be like 37-21. But crazy things will have happened. Do you understand what I'm saying? There'll be like a punt return for a touchdown and like a fumble. There'll be some crazy stuff. It's going to be a wild game. Washington's going to give the illusion they're still in it into the fourth quarter. You're going to be like, oh, what's going on? And then it'll be over and they'll lose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for the Ravens. Just because Haskins behind the snap, but I would love to see Alex Smith get back on the field. Maybe this is the game that the coach will be like, all right, Haskins, sit down, and let me see Alex Smith come back and see a comeback story. You know,
If you're Alex Smith, could you figure out a worse game to come on and play in?
why not?
Dude, he'll be
Why
out of that
not?
game in the second quarter.
I mean,
What are you
Kyle
kidding
Allen
me?
can't do it. He's worse than Haskins.
As a Utah Ute fan, I would love to see Alex Smith back out there. But regardless, it doesn't matter. You could put prime Joe Montana back under center for the Washington football team, and the Ravens would still demolish them. The Ravens are good. They
I don't
had
know about that. I think I might take the Skins in that one.
I would too. I mean, I'll never go against
With
Montana.
That's
Come on,
I don't
man.
know. He works some magic.
Yeah, but the Ravens are just a better overall football team. The Chiefs got the win last week. Yeah, they're still riding high. They're still the defending champs. But I think the Ravens are still the best team in football. And they're going up the road to Washington. Like, this is going to
Wait a minute.
demolished.
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt, Jace. You know I do. If you can't beat the Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions, are you the best team in football, or are you just the second best team in football?
Okay, let me rephrase that. They are the best, well-rounded overall team. On paper, they look to be the best. Like, with all they got, I think the Chiefs are just riding really high on them winning the Super Bowl, and they still have that defending champs mentality. So I think that's what won them that game. But I think on paper, the Ravens are the best team in football.
Where do they play these games, though?
What do you mean?
Oh,
Where do the games actually get played?
whoa.
In a notebook or on a football field?
Okay.
You gotta. I mean, you're like a wrestling fan, for crying out loud. You can't be the man until you beat the man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They aren't the man, but I'm saying well-rounded overall. Their defense is better than the Chiefs' defense, and their
Unless they're
offense
playing the
is
Chiefs.
just as formidable as the Chiefs.
I'm confused. Did we not see the game Monday Night Football?
Yes, I
Okay.
understand that.
All
But
right.
what I'm saying is I'm not – what I'm trying to say is
He doesn't trust his eyes, is what he's saying.
Ravens. I'm not counting out the Ravens.
Yeah, the game was fake games. It was a fake game.
Tough game week 3, and I'm not counting them out. They're still one of the best teams in all the NFL. And
I'm going to ignore all the evidence. I've got a real hunch here.
all right, we're moving on. Screw all this. Cardinals at Panthers. Sean, who you got?
The Cardinals are going to bounce back this week. Kyler Murray threw 3 picks last week. That won't happen again. DeAndre Hopkins is going to make Eli Apple look like a fool out there trying to cover him. And Cardinals are going to win in this one, I'd probably say, by 2 touchdowns.
I love the Carolina Panthers.
What's up with you and all these terrible teams this week?
I don't know. I got a real soft spot this week. I am taking the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's my guy, and he's all the proof that anybody needs that when you pick a bad quarterback in a draft, it's all right to go right back and get another one.
Damn. What do you got over?
For anybody who's stupid, I'm talking about the Giants and Trevor Lawrence here.
I got where you're going with that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, I don't know. I have a hunch that something's gonna happen in this game, but I'm not gonna gamble. I'll
Trust
take
your gut.
Arizona.
Trust your gut. If
You're
you
right.
feel it, there's something there.
Yeah, I feel the toilet pretty soon, man. That's how I feel about this game. So yeah, I take Cardinals.
Yeah, clean sweep here. I think the Cardinals bounced back from that disappointing loss last week and find themselves back in the victory column here because they are a legit contender in the NFC.
Does anybody want to bet that Kyler Murray doesn't throw for any touchdowns?
No.
It wouldn't surprise me. I feel like this game is
Yeah,
not
I'll
what
take
people are going to assume it's going to be. I think it's going to be the opposite. That's just me.
Kyler Murray is at least going to throw for 1 touchdown.
Well, I think it's interesting. Sean just said, he threw for 3 picks last week. He's not going to do that again. Well, why not?
because the Lions secondary is better than the Panthers secondary with the bum Eli Apple that we know firsthand. And Dante Jackson also gets burnt a lot. So that would be why.
Also the Cardinals have D-Hop.
I was asking a question. I just wanted to. I appreciate that answer, Sean. That's an honest answer. I accept it.
Gotcha.
Right.
Solid point.
Okay. Now, talking about disappointing seasons as a whole, Vikings go to Houston to take on the Texans. Who you got here, Sean?
This one's tough just because I don't know what to think of either of these two teams right now. Vikings on defense have just been terrible this year. Kirk Cousins looked better last week, but still he's having a rough year. So I'm just going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the better quarterback. And I think that the Texans defense, they'll get some pressure on Kirk Cousins with J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless. So I'd probably say Texans 27, Vikings 21.
Okay.
Who's more likely to be 0-4? Kirk Cousins or Deshaun Watson? The funny thing is if it's Deshaun Watson, come Monday, everybody's going to be like, well, he could just reel off 12 in a row. I don't understand why people keep making excuses for Deshaun Watson. Again, I love the kid. He's very talented. You got to start pulling some wins out, though. I do think he's going to do it this week. I think that the Vikings and that bum Kirk Cousins, who's back to Bumville, is going to go to 0-4. I think Houston wins this one 27-12.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings got the worst defense compared to these two teams, and therefore I'm picking the Texans to win.
Oh, I love this. I'm going the opposition here. I'm taking the Vikings. Justin Jefferson had himself a day last week, even though they were unsuccessful. I think the Kirk Cousins realized he has a weapon there, and he's going to go back to the well. And I think this is going to be a shootout. And I just think the Vikings just have more offensive weapons than the Texans, even though I would put Deshaun Watson over Kirk Cousins as far as QB-wise. I think there's just too many. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, they're really good. So I like the Vikings to get their first win here. Now, probably the game of the week. Patriots go to Kansas City to take on the reigning Super Bowl champs, Chiefs. Sean, what you got?
I originally wrote down the Chiefs, but for some reason I just got a gut feeling that that Belichick's going to come to play with a good game plan. So, and I haven't picked a lot of upsets this week yet. So I'm going to do it. I'll go with the Patriots in this one. I think Cam Newton will have a big game. They get James White back. Rex Burkhead just had the game of his career. So I think that, and the Patriots still have a great secondary. I understand that the Chiefs just tore up the Ravens, who might have the best secondary in the league, but I think Steve Belichick and Bill Belichick will get a good game plan for it. You can't stop them, the Chiefs, obviously, with their high-octane offense, but you can try to contain them, slow them down a little bit, get them to kick a couple field goals. So I'd say the Patriots and Cam get rolling, and I'm going to pick the Patriots with a score of 33-28.
Wow, I love it, Sean. That's great. I feel like the Patriots are definitely going to give the Chiefs a game. I think they're going to be in it super late. I think the Chiefs are going to pull out an absolute nail-biter here. I do think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring affair. I just don't know if the Patriots have enough to outdo the Chiefs in a shootout. I've got this one going down 37-34.
It's a good score. I like it. Field goal. Maybe it'd be the last. Whoever has the ball last. It could happen that way. Maybe we'll have a dramatic win. But I'm still picking the Chiefs, and I got Mahomes as my starting quarterback for my fantasy league. And yeah, I'm gonna be all right this week.
Steve Risser with ever words of wisdom. KC clearly has the better QB. Thank you very much. Very hard to figure that out. But, yeah, Chiefs go in, get it done, easy, at home. Well, not easy. I don't want to say.
Well, you know what? Hey, look, not for nothing. Hold on. If the Patriots are going to win this game, then let's assume for 1 week, Cam Newton will have to be the better quarterback on the field because the Patriots aren't going to win that football game unless Cam Newton outplays Patty Mahomes. So let's not go getting overly confident here. To say he's clearly the better quarterback, it's not like Cam Newton's a slouch. I think Cam Newton's going to be in this football game. I think Cam Newton can win this football game. And I think Pat Mahomes is a great quarterback, but again, he's been to as many Super Bowls as Cam Newton has.
And he's won more. So I get what you're saying, Joe. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means, but I think with the home field advantage, the Chiefs are going to get a win here. But I'm sorry. I don't think Cam Newton is even really that comparable to Patty Mahomes. The game plan for the Patriots are back to old school Patriots football. They're running the football. They're eating clock. They're taking their time, not really throwing the ball too much. When they do, it's old school Patriots football. They're not making the shots downfield. But with Patrick Mahomes, you feel like every time he touches the ball, he has an opportunity to do something great. And you don't get that sense with Cam Newton.
You used to.
Yeah, you used to. Not anymore.
You can again.
You
can grow to love him.
Yeah, he showed signs of it so far.
He has showed signs, but he isn't that gunslinger. He isn't that guy. That's He's not like that. He's not that guy.
You don't have to be. That's the whole point. That's what made Eli.
Last 2-minute drill. You taking Patrick Mahomes or are you taking Cam Newton to get that ball down the field?
I don't know. Depends on the week. Yeah. Who are we playing? Where are we?
You're playing at the Texans.
Is it raining badly? Because then I want Cam.
Dome.
Well, then maybe I'll take Mahomes. Which dome? What kind of turf?
Yeah.
What's the defense?
I'd take Mahomes, but Cam could just do a lot of different things, though.
Cam Newton, I still think he is a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but he is not at that elite level like he once was. He is not. I hate bringing up like the numbers like top 5, top 3 quarterbacks and that stuff. He isn't up on that upper echelon like he was once before, and I think that's why it is clear. Patrick Mahomes, MVP, Super Bowl champion. He is on top of the world right now.
Okay, so last week or 2 weeks ago, I said I think the Chiefs would go undefeated, and you guys were all like, no. And then they destroyed the Ravens. So who's going to beat them?
The Patriots. I picked it.
There you go.
The only way the Chiefs are going to lose if they beat themselves, man. We're beating up on this game too damn much.
Well, I think the guy that could make a team like the Chiefs beat themselves is a guy like Bill Belichick. And I think when you got a guy like Cam Newton who can get into the end zone when he needs to and seems to be doing it with a lot of success so far this year, I like the Patriots. I mean, I'm picking the Chiefs because I've taken like 7 upsets already, and that's probably way too many.
Yeah. And Mahomes is basically going to have only one side of the field to look at with Stephon Gilmore on the Patriots defense. He locks down every receiver he goes against. I understand he might have a couple plays if he's going against Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman with the speed, but for the majority of the game, quarterbacks don't even look at his side of the field. So I think that will be huge for the Patriots.
Yeah, you're right. Going from one AFC East team to another, the Bills go to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Sean, hit me with it.
I think this is going to be a pretty good one. I think the Raiders will play a lot better than they did this past week, playing bad against the Pats. But I think the Bills are legit, man. Josh Allen has looked great. I think he's at least for this season, a top 5 quarterback in the league right now, and their defense is playing great. Stephon Diggs is a huge addition to that team, so I think it will be a pretty close game. I think Josh Jacobs will play well for the Raiders, but I'll take the Bills late in this one. by a score of 27-22.
It's okay to say Josh Allen's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and you're punishing people who just don't deserve to be there anymore, and that's okay. It really is. This is a big game for Josh Allen. It's a big road game. He needs a big road. I think if he can go and he can win this football game, and the only way he's going to do it, because these Raiders can score, is he's going to have to outscore the Raiders, which means another big week for Josh Allen, which I believe in. And then hopefully everybody will shut up already and just accept him into the circle. He's there. He said he was there. He told you that when the draft. He told you he was better than all of them, and he was right.
Not better than Lamar.
And after Sunday, he's going to be wrong because the Raiders are going to win this weekend.
Okay. I'm not mad at that, but I do have the Bills winning. I honestly, right now, I might, keyword there, might take Josh Allen over Cam Newton in that 2-minute drill situation. I am loving Josh Allen right now. He's playing really great. Another caveat to the Bills, they get their rookie running back, Zach Moss, back, and he had a monster week 1. So I expect him to get back in the swing of things here. And I really, really like the Bills. And I'm going to say it, the AFC East is the Bills' to lose right now. They're playing good football, and I expect them to go into Vegas and continue that trend. Now let's go to the Sunday night game. Eagles at 49ers. Sean, what you thinking?
I think this is going to be a really low-scoring game. Just the way the Eagles' offense has looked, how bad Carson Wentz has looked, and then obviously Nick Mullins. He came in and played well against the Giants. Did his job, but I think it will be a lot different going against the Eagles' defense. That their pass rushes, even though overall as a team they haven't been great, their pass rush has been really good. Brandon Graham had a monster game last week. They still have Fletcher Cox and Derek Burnett and Malik Jackson. So I think they're going to get a lot of pressure on Nick Mullins. And I think Carson Wentz will have a rough game going against the Niners defense. So I think it will be low scoring, but I think the Niners will have just enough to pull away a late win. I'd say they win by a score of 18-17 on a last-minute field goal.
I agree with everything you said there. I think the Niners take this one 17-13. I think it'll be a brutal battle, and I think the Eagles are in serious trouble this year, which just makes me feel so much better.
George Kittle's returning back, and so is Deebo Samuel. So 49ers, click it. I got him.
This is going to be just as bad as a blowout as last week was for the Giants. Niners are getting key parts back. The Eagles are not a good team by any stretch of the word. So, I expect the 49ers to just blow them out. And Nick Mullins look like Nick Foles after these past 2 weeks. Then let's get to Monday Night Football. The Falcons go to the flaming hot Green Bay Packers. Sean, who's winning?
This one was probably the easiest one of the week for me. I think I would pick the Giants in a game before I'd pick the Falcons at this point. They just, when they have the lead, they blow it. Their defense is terrible. Their offense is way too inconsistent, especially in the second half. And the Packers, like you said, are red hot right now, best offense in the league. So Packers by a lot at Lambeau in this one.
Falcons are a mess, and they're certainly not going to solve all of their problems at Lambeau. So there's little to no chance that the Packers will lose this week.
Oh, no, I think the Falcons are going to play very well this Sunday in the first half. They'll be up 20-0.
That's
and
hilarious.
Then the Packers will come back and score 44 unanswered points in the second half, and there's your score. So Packers will win.
Yeah, Packers all day. Aaron Rodgers had took that draft pick of the Utah State Aggies, Jordan Love in the first round. They took that, and he's been thinking about that all year since the draft, and he is on a mission. He wants to be MVP, and he wants to take the Packers to the promised land. So they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But that's all for picks right now. So let's talk about fantasy. Starting off with the top performers for week 3, we had Patty Mahomes with 40 points for the top QB, as well as we had Alvin Kamara with 44.7 points, top running back. Tyler Lockett, 37 points, top wide receiver. Jimmy Graham with 24 points, top tight end. And the Colts defense with 27 points, being the top defense of the week. Now, I know we got a couple guys in the chat talking that are part of this league, part of the CMG Sports League. So let's hear some trash talk. I want to throw some of your comments up on the board. But, OV, I know you got your first win. Tell me, how's it feel? How's it feel to get that?
I told you last week that whoever loses to me has got to beat the worst fantasy football team ever because I have the worst roster. And I have to say thank you to Patrick Mahomes because he gave me a lot of points, okay? A lot of points. And because of him, I passed Teddy Keys. So, Teddy, I know you're listening. So, hey, my bad, your fault, all right? It's all right. It's okay, all right? But I told you so. But I'm going against Team Yevon this coming week. And it's going to be interesting because they're predicting that I'm going to get blown out. And I was predicted getting blown out last week. So I'm just pretty interested to see Mahomes, Peterson, Brown, Cup, and A.J. Green starting this week for me against teams that don't have a good defense. I think I'm going to be all right this weekend.
All right. For me, the close games continued as I only beat Team D'Onofrio by 6 points. But I got my first win. And we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep the ball rolling. As this week we go up against Ryu Says Ayukin. Or, I don't know. We're going up against Jared.
Ayukin!
Yes. We're going up against Jared, the only undefeated team in our league. Not anymore, Jared. Not anymore. I started this league not to just be the commissioner, but to win the league. And sadly, you are going to be victim number 2, Jared. Sorry, but it's going to happen.
You know, it's sad because Jared still continues to want to make trades. And yeah, he's 3-0, so.
All right. Those trades got to be working. So, Sean, what are your thoughts on last week and what about this week? Your team's looking really, really good.
Yeah, thank you. It was a rough week. This past week, I only scored 77 points. I had a lot of injuries, but we're not going to make excuses here. It's the next man up mentality. So next week, we got to be better. Jared had the better team this week. He's got the only undefeated team. So congrats to Jared. But this week, it's going to be a big bounce back. And I hate to do it to you, Joe, but you're not going to get your first win this week. I'm sorry that you're.
It's
I'm sorry
Joe
that
and you.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Sorry that your team is just the one in the way this week that I have to, barrel through. But best of luck though.
Yeah, I got nothing. My team's in big trouble here. I actually did make some moves this week. Kareem Hunt is now on my squad. Yeah, thank you for that, Jace. I also picked up David Johnson from Houston. So I definitely had a real sitch at the running back position. And so I don't know. Maybe we'll give you a game this week, Sean. You never know.
Hey, Joe.
You never know.
The reason why you're in that situation, you got Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, that alone, I'm looking at your roster like, damn. Sorry.
Yeah, that was bad luck from the start, I guess.
Ovi, do you have any response to this by Tyler Bard?
Tyler Bard has been AWOL for the last couple of weeks, and now he's coming on to talk some smack. So I'll leave you alone, Tyler. At the end of the season, I'm going to do this to you. So,
all right.
He wants to eat your lunch.
All right, so now let's end the show with some fantasy advice. Sean, who's someone people should start? Who's someone people should look to pick up this week? What advice you got?
I think for the quarterback position, someone that's pretty available in most leagues. He's only rostered in 45% of leagues right now. Is Jared Goff. He's got a great matchup, obviously, going against the Giants secondary that we all know very well about. And he's averaging just under 21 points a matchup. And he's got a great matchup this week. So I think he's got a good chance to score 25-plus points, and he's still available in a lot of leagues. So I like him for quarterback. Running back, I like Melvin Gordon going against the Jets. He had a rough week last week against the Bucs, but he's gonna turn that around against the Jets tomorrow night on Thursday Night Football. Receiver, I like Odell going against the Cowboys. Odell, he's having a pretty quiet season other than the touchdown in the big game against the Bengals. But he will break out with a huge game this week. I think he's going to score at least 2 touchdowns going against a bad Cowboys secondary. I think he'll have a big game. And tight end, I like Hayden Hurst from the Falcons going against the Packers. He had a good, solid first 2 games, had just 1 catch last week. But I think that they're going to be trailing a lot in this game, so they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So I like Hayden Hurst to have a good game against the Packers.
All right. Joe?
Why would you want advice from me? I mean, literally, I'm in 3 leagues. I'm 0-9. It's not going well anywhere. Everything I do backfires. I start Malcolm Brown and Henderson runs for like $150 and 3 touch. I mean, it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter. So don't. I got nothing. I don't want to even talk about it.
All right. Over, you got any advice for the people?
No, I'm just looking here on the percentages of people picking up people, and Deion Lewis is on top of the list for some odd reason. Gardner Minshew, the Jacksonville quarterback, and the Chargers defense. Those are the top 3 right now. I guess people see something that I don't see, but it is what it is. I mean, Deion Lewis from the New York Giants, I don't know.
Well, see, it's funny. By all estimations, what I've been reading, and it surprised me, Wayne Gallman got some carries. I think he had 5 carries for 7 yards or 4 for 7, something like that. Wayne Gallman is going to be completely displaced by Devontae Freeman. It's going to be Lewis and Freeman, and Gallman may end up, with a couple carries late in the season, and that might be about it. I think his time is done. So Deion Lewis definitely is a guy that I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like Deion Lewis. I have him in my other league, not the CMG league. But for me, some key names to look out for. Obviously, I've been hammering it every week. Justin Herbert. If you can pick up Justin Herbert, pick up Justin Herbert. Even if you got a solid QB, just stash him. You never know. This dude's going to light it up. As well as I also really, really like Zach Moss, rookie running back from Buffalo. He had a monster week 1, got injured, has been out, listed as questionable now. Some people have dropped him because he's listed as questionable. If he's in your league, you can pick him up, take him, because this dude is a baller. This dude can run the football like a lot. He's only rostered in 63% of leagues according to ESPN. This dude's solid. So if you can get him, I suggest you get him. Now, that's going to be it for Drawing About the G-Men. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys do check out clovercrestmedia.com, where you can find this show as well as multiple other podcasts, sports, murder mystery, comedy. They got it all. So go to clovercrestmedia.com to check it out. Or if you have a subject that you think you are passionate about and you want to make your own podcast, they can help you with that. So make sure you check out clovercrestmedia.com. If you are watching live on Facebook or YouTube, make sure you stay tuned, because in a little bit we will be going live. The same squad, all 4 of us will be going live with all 4 down. So don't miss it. Hope to see you then. Thank you, and take care.
Where'd he go?